Well, alright. Well, the camera on this is not so hot. Let's see what happens if I do that. That's not so bad. Yeah, I don't know. See how my crappy setup for my room. Oh, next few days I've got to rearrange all my furniture, rearrange my space. I have to. I can feel it here. Because your space is a reflection of your mind. This is not. It's not good. All right. Well, I'm testing the new device, and I just wanted to say that it's looking like now people who really understand, like World War II, where these people went after the war, the whole issue with Ukraine, and where their Axis government ended up in Canada, Australia, and the United States. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing, for some of you wondering what the deal is with some of these Canadians and these people in Britain who are showing up over there. It's like, no, there's a whole contingent of that government in exile after World War II that ended up in Canada. It was the Anglosphere that hid that group the most. Um, it's looking like people like the French and the Germans seem to be the ones who are the hiders of the Islamic end of the Axis. Those two seem to be the ones that and it's weird. France is one that at some point I'm going to have a somebody's going to put me on to something that's going to break a lot of this down, because France really does embrace the idea of just straight up commie shit and stuff like that, and so like that's why they went along with Hitler, and like the teachers were into Hitler and stuff like that, and that's why the Vichy went the way it did, and that the French, what they do is they just rewrite the story, and it's not until some nationalist who's considered a horrible person finally like kind of exposes, no, this is the sick thing that we keep going along with these really bad ideas for the sake of le revolution and le republique and stuff like that. So one of the things that hit me today, what it is that Zelensky and all his boys are buying property in Switzerland. Boom, boom, gaffled, totally gaffled. So the black liars and the black lesbian mafia, they fucking caused all these shoe store riots and burn and arson and craziness and madness, so that now, like, literally people have moved away from where there's a lot of white liberals and concentrations of any types of black people, no matter poor or rich, moving away, physically getting away from them. Two groups, two bad tastes that are poisonous together. Bad black people and the white liberals, and so now what you're seeing is people who can move. That means they have money. That means they got brains and turned it into money, and so they're like, yeah, I'm out. Y'all could keep spinning your rims, have fun. Have fun smoking pot with your homeboys, buddy. Keep listening to Jack Johnson, dork, while the world burns around you. So I was thinking today, there was somebody on. It was a Hindu, Britain, and he's really, like, I could tell he is a English Hindu. He's English. This is the guy who's on podcast The Lotus Eaters. Turns out something that was said during that is he's apparently a neo-imperialist or something like that, or possibly an all-out monarchist. So he's one of these people who's like, yeah, when Britain was like in control of India, actually things were really good. Because he's being accurate. He's being very accurate. More track laid down than I think existed in all of Europe at the time. Like, Britain built more rail in India than I think existed in all of Europe at that time they were building it. If I remember, it's something totally insane like that. It's like these crazy levels of like what Britain invested in India. And that literally, if they had pulled out, it's something like if Britain had pulled out of India in something like 20 years earlier, they would have been carefree, no problems. But they didn't, and 20 years they just started losing money, bleeding money, and into India. That the empire started to bleed them out. And somebody, it was somebody had once, I remember once saying that if they had just let him go 20 years earlier, they would have been fine. But it was considered, it wasn't even so much that this was considered like bad. This would have been made feasible sense. No, it was the sense of duty to now those lands. That now these people expected the British to help with build a new modern civilization there. Now they expected the help. It was and that there was now people who they couldn't identify as just their people. They were a type of person who was also a British subject, a English Hindu. So there was something that actually hit me about this. Something he had said that was absolutely one of the most ingenious. I'm like, you get it. Of all the people on almost all platforms, you get it. He had brought up, yes, the first Americans were like this. The later group of Europeans, the famous Ellis Island, all this 1800s, they're just flooding it. The post-Civil War people. Those people, they're not really very American. They're just not. It doesn't even matter if they fought in World War II or Korea or whatever. No. They don't get, they're showing they're obviously the people who will tend, or are far more like, they are that force that keeps driving us toward European liberalism. This kind of thing that is about liberty, not about freedom. These people, and that you're starting to see, and that there's whole subgroups of Europeans, a subgroup of Europeans that really, that are very divided on this. That there's some of them who seem to get this idea of freedom, and then others that they're about liberties. That they are looking at their history and they're like, we're a tiny group and we need to make sure everybody's fighting each other over who gets to do normal things. And then, so that because then we could have an understandable tier of power that we fit into. And that's what all these groups are doing. They're just still thinking like peasants. That's why you find this division in black Americans. There's black people who believe in freedom, and there's a bunch of black people, especially women, who believe in liberties. Liberties are handed to you by the authority. If this authority happens to be a Senate that's voted in, okay, but I mean, it really is that there's some arbiters who say you can do this. You can do that. Yes, you can. Yep, you can do that. Oh, you can't do that. No, you can't. No. Oh, you can eat bugs. Oh, you can't eat beef. Oh, you can drive an electric car, but oh, no. We're choking out your ability to drive your normal car, which most people would have. You see, you poor peasant motherfucker. You have to behave more like us elite people with our electric cars, and then you're allowed to drive again and do what you want. See, as long as you emulate us and you do what we want you to, then you can do things. But if you do things we don't like, say like go target shooting with your AR-15, oh no, yeah, you're not allowed to do that. No, none of that business. No. That's enjoyable and fun, and we see fun doesn't matter. Free people enjoy life and have fun. No, you have to have purpose to life. There's a movement and a revolution and some big cause that we all have to be thinking about all the time. And if you're not, well, we gotta do things. We gotta start restricting what you can do so that you sit there and you think about the cause, the great cause. That's the peasant minds of liberals. They're peasants. Their mind is of peasants, not free people. People who somebody can tell them, you're allowed to do this. Peasant. Now you're allowed to do this. See, us free people, us old Americans, we're like, who the fuck are you to tell me that? Like, it comes very quickly, this idea that we should slap people. I think all the time, like there's some people somebody that should just get up. This congressperson should get up and slap the fucking shit out of this other congressperson. Say, fuck you. And then sit the fuck back down. And let it be understood, no, fuck you. Get the fuck out of Congress, you piece of shit. Why are you here? Why are you in our country, which is a republic, that people are free? And that's really now starting to, I think that's really going to start hitting people. Why are you here then? If you don't really believe in freedom, if you don't really think that you are free and I am free, and there's a good thing we have rights and then therefore responsibilities. So it's this thing of you're responsible for the actions you take, and you violated somebody else's rights. There's laws about this that society has decided on. That's the wisdom of our tradition, are these laws. And now and then we have to change them. And that's the Republican Party needs to become a party that erases laws. That literally is, that they don't pass new laws, they erase laws. They go through the law books and they erase laws. They erase the redundancies. They make sure, no, this is rescinded. This department is gone. No, the Constitution's written like this. All this stuff is added on, so it's gone. That's what Republicans and the right need to start becoming. These people who trim all of the garbage, they trim the weeds, because the government should be a nice, very well manicured lawn. Confined in a tiny little fucking spot. It's a tiny, a little bit of well manicured grass in a wild parkland. And so it's just he really nailed it. That he's like, no, these are people that they love French philosophy and they love all this stuff from Europe. And they love kind of these things about Europe, even though now it's this place where you don't have rights. Women don't have a right to safety in Europe. In Western Europe, women have no right to safety. If a Muslim feels like raping and killing them, then their rights are then it's liberties. Then it becomes liberties. Maybe she has the liberty to stay alive and not get raped. Maybe she doesn't that day. It depends on, it just depends on how the magistrates feel. Did somebody try to take Tommy Robinson's life again? Well, today he didn't really have a lot of liberties, on that, because, you see, Islamic people have this stack of liberties that have to do with insanity and anger and savagery. And so it's like, they have the liberty to be savage, and savage people with blades and stuff like that. And, ooh, Allah Akbar, and So and but if you want to keep your church a church in Europe, you might not have that liberty because somewhere there is some some Momo worshiper who he wants to smoke cigarettes indoors, and he's not from Syria, but we're pretending he is. He's a refugee. He's just some guy saying Momo said I get to rape white girls, so let him smoke in the church. Don't you believe in housing the poor? No, and so we're giving you the liberty to remain in existence if you just let fake refugees from the Ummah hang out and smoke indoors in your church. You can exist. Your building can still exist. You can say we have a church. Yeah, it's a Muslim smokehouse. It's a hookah. It's a hookah spot for Muslims. Because long live the revolution. I love seeing these people just everything they love. The liberals, just everything. They're realizing, oh, Hassan took all my money and bought himself a mansion in a Lambo. Oh, Vaush is actually not really that smart and just kind of a weird degenerate that makes no real splash in the world of online politics. BLM, there were just a bunch of homosexuals ripping everybody off, and that really the only group you pretty much are finding a bunch of black homosexuals and Jewish Democrats at Act Blue. This is gaffled all of you. I just love it. I just love just everything. And now Ukraine. This is the best part. 40 billion, right? Supposedly went to Ukraine. Less than 10 billion actually went to weaponry. It all went to NGOs. It's this thing of well, but we're on the hook for that. Yeah, right, we're going to be on the hook for that. Sorry, no we won't. No we won't. When we tell the world, actually, we're not paying any of y'all back. And we're going to make sure all the red states are armed to the teeth, and we're banning we're just going to make we're going to encourage in red states young men to get beefy, good with guns, and to bully people, bully the weak. It's like bully the weak, like Jim says, bully the weak. It'll make them better people. Why are they living in the republic if they don't believe in a republic? Never, ever say democracy. We don't live in a democracy. There's still Republicans who will use that word. There's so many of these gray Republicans who they just need somebody to be like, boom, just like Charlie Murphy, just boom into the fucking desk, get the fuck out, old man. Go and fucking suck your boyfriend's dick, you old fucking cuck. We need that. We really need, so many of these old bastards just be called fucking cock-sucking old cuckolds and just get the fuck out, and because that's what's up now with the Republican Party. And it's you have your only option, and that's nationalism, which is the future. And if you're not down with it, move to France. You're queer, move to France. You'll fit in. Move to Belgium. They're waiting for you. They got a blintz and a pipe waiting for you. So, yeah. Go stuff it in your pipe and smoke it, cucks. Alright. Just some thoughts I had. Let's see how this new device uploads.